morning is the week after I've officially finished university. I've got all my assignments completed this previous week, so now I'm officially done with my creative writing and English degree. But it was me and my sister's birthday yesterday to celebrate. We're going to Center Parcs and I'm hoping to make it kind of like a mini writing retreat for the week. I have 2 of my novels done now that I just want to get redrafts done with, and I also want to write some short stories. Yeah, I'll bring you along. It's almost 11:30 and our train is at 12:30, but I wanted to get some writing done this morning. I woke up early planning to get that done, but it's just me who can't write when I have something to do, so I haven't got any of that done unfortunately. But I'm hoping to do some reading on the train and maybe some writing, so yeah, I'll take you along with me. To the supermarket. Crazy stuff, but I will get into that later. But we're on the way to the supermarket and I'm dying for the toilet, but we're gonna go there and then hopefully get delivered because I don't want to carry it all the way back to the cabin. But talk to you later. And I didn't even really see. I'm just editing this video and I've just realised that I've completely forgot to explain what the crazy thing was that happened, so I'm going to do that here. So pretty much we've had this booked for a few months and my sister booked it originally, and we booked it, you know, for a log cabin, going to do our writing in the log cabin, and that was mainly where we was going to be for the whole stay. Turns out when we got there, first of all, there was no like pedestrian walkway to get your like wristbands and to basically like say you there and collect your keys and things. So we had to go on like the road part, which was, I don't know, confusing. Didn't know where to go. But yeah, so when we was doing that, she said we was in one of the apartments just off of the car park. So already I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, maybe they just call it apartments, because at this point I didn't even know apartments existed in Center Parcs. So we gave it the benefit of the doubt, went along, and it was only like 5 minutes from the check-in part, still basically in the middle of the car park. And we went in and there was a hallway, and then we went into the room, and yeah, it was an apartment. It had like no natural light apart from like one window in the living space, but none in the kitchen or anything in any of the other rooms. And where the window was, there was a fence, and that was it. You couldn't see anything but this fence because across it was the car park. So straight away I'm freaking out, and I'm like saying to my sister, we can't do this, I can't stay here, because like, you know, the whole point was to write, and I was like, I can't write in here, this is not the right vibe, what I was expecting. So I got straight on the phone with, I think it was like customer service or something, guest support, and I said to them, basically explained that this is entirely our fault, but we thought we'd booked a log cabin, is the only way we could upgrade it, you know, willing to pay, just want to really be in a log cabin. And I was on hold for 5 minutes, and pretty much she said luckily that they had a log cabin available and that we could go straight in it for free of charge. So we got like £100 off a log cabin for accidentally booking an apartment. In the end it all worked out. But when we first, like, when we walked back, because our log cabin was at the other side of the park, right at the end, which I ended up loving. So we went right to the end and there was cleaners in there at this point. So that was when you saw us walking to the supermarket to get food, and by then they was gone. So now I think I'm writing and we're back. So yeah, I just thought I'd clear that up, just make it clear that it was entirely our fault, but it worked out in the end. Look what's in there. What's that? Squirrel. I also wanted to give a short review of what I've been reading over the past 2 weeks. I think I've been kind of slow with reading it, just getting my assignments done. I just finished those last week, so now I have all the time to redraft and read. So I've been reading Where the Dark Stands Still, and it's a fantasy and I'm really liking it so far. At first I kind of had I'm not sure, I wasn't sure if I was like into it fully, because basically there's a girl, her name, I forgot her, Liska. She ends up going to the forest to get her magic like taken away from her, because she thinks that, and everyone else in her village thinks it's really bad. And she goes into the forest, some things happen, and she ends up making this bargain with someone who she thinks is a demon, who she calls the Leslie. I've been saying this wrong the entire time, and I only just learned on the train ride home. So it's not the Leslie like I keep saying in this video, it's Lishi. I'm pretty sure. You can find all the pronunciations in the back. I think it was Polish that it's after, so it looks like Leslie. So that's what I'll be saying for the rest of this video, but please, it is Lishi. And she ends up making this bargain and having to like serve him for a year in his manor. And it was kind of slow at the start just because of that, I think, because he was kind of locking himself away most of the time and she was just kind of by herself cooking and cleaning. And she did say in the acknowledgements that she got a lot of inspiration from Howl's Moving Castle, and for that aspect I can kind of see where she's got it from. And especially now that there's a cat, but it's not a cat, it's more of like a house spirit that just appears as a cat, and that really reminds me of Calcifer, which again, I don't see it as copying, but I do see the similarities. But I love the cat, I love Liska. The Leslie I'm not too sure about just yet. He's not, like, from kind of what you're getting, he seems like he cares for her, but not like too much to like really love him at this point. But when I was reading it on the train yesterday, it really sped up a lot and I'm liking it a lot more than I did. So yeah, if you want a fantasy book that is kind of like Howl's Moving Castle, it has a lot of references to Poland, I think it is. A lot of references to things over there, and references to magic, obviously trying to take away your magic, which is always something fun to read about someone who doesn't like the magic and then grows to love it. It does say on the back that it's about a boy who fell in love, so I'm assuming something is going to end up going on between them. From the way that it is right now, it seems like it's leading to that. But yeah, I'll update you as I read more of it. But right now I think I would give it 3.5 stars, just because just over halfway and it's only just really starting to pick up, so I guess I'll have to update you more when it is fully into the story. That's our log cabin. we're going to the shop because we've decided it's too expensive to go to the restaurants. So we're gonna go to one of them tomorrow and just eat in today. So third time at the shop. Third time at the shop. Started to write the 12th chapter, and basically what is happening right now is that Arya is my protagonist and Colton, I'm deciding on his name. He was Miles and then he was Reeve and now he's Colton, and I think Colton is my favourite just for have been rewriting him in this draft, and the way that I've rewritten him, he seems different from what he was before, so he seems more appropriate that his name would be something different. So she has just found out that he is not who he says he is, and that now in turn she is in danger from what she's told him, and that she can no longer trust him. So she is basically like going out on a whim, making this plan to kind of blackmail him, in a sense, like hold something over him to get what she wants. And I'm just going into the scene where she is being held in a cell in the basement, and I'm going into the scene where she's basically barging down there and telling him what she knows, and that she knows that he's not who he says he is, and then forcing him to help her to save her mum. So I'm just going into that scene, and I'm not entirely sure how it's going. I used to plan out my chapters from like start to finish, every single step, but I don't do that anymore. I kind of just go with the flow. So I've only just started, I'm like 2 paragraphs into the chapter and I'm not sure where it's going, but I think I'll figure it out at some point. It has now been 2 or 3 weeks since I filmed this video. I just edited it yesterday, but I just wanted to film a little outro because I remembered that I forgot to say what I liked about this book. So I did finish this on the train on the way home on the Friday. I've read 2 and a bit books since then, so bear with me because I don't exactly remember, but I think I gave this a 3.5. And now And like, I'm a sucker for reading reviews, and now that I saw one review on Goodreads, I'm like debating on whether or not it's a 3, but I'm gonna stick with a 3.5 because that's what I gave it to begin with. I guess I'll just say why my rating is lower for this than other books usually. So what my main issue was, not an issue, but just something that I have a preference for in books that this didn't give me a lot of, was a lot of action. Basically, Liska starts off working under, I think his name, I was calling him the Leslie, which I've already said, and then Leshy, but now I think it's Leshy, so let's say Leshy. So she's working under the Leshy, and to begin with, like, he's not there, he's going away a lot, so he's like got this forest that he wards and protects, so he's going away to protect this and fight all these monsters that are like trying to escape the forest and to like harm people in the forest. So she's alone a lot of the time, and really all that's happening then is she's talking to this house cat that I can't remember the name of, but that's about it. And she's trying to uncover like the mystery of like who he is and what exactly he's doing, because she knows that something isn't right. She's being followed and by this, I think it was a wolf, like a ghost wolf, and she's being followed by that, and it's like saying something in her mind, telling her to like leave and get out. So she's basically just trying to figure out what that is. But for a good portion of the book, I don't know how long it was into the book, but it was quite far into the book, it was just kind of that, and he was getting little snippets of the Leshy going, you know, into the story, but not too much, not what like I was wanting. And then it did pick up maybe like just over halfway, and then, you know, the Leshy was there all the time and there was romance, and it was kind of like a slow burn, but at the same time not slow enough, I don't think, to be a slow burn. But yeah, I liked the romance part when it did speed up, and I loved the ending. I think I was trying to figure out alongside Liska what was going on with him, and I thought I had an idea of what it was, but I didn't. So when I found out, I was shocked, and I'm not going to say it for spoilers' sake, but yeah, I think the ending is good. I think halfway through it gets good, and that's why I give it 3.5 and not a 3. But going back to the Goodreads review that I've read that made me like kind of question my decision on what to rate it, I think they gave it a 3 or a 2, but I don't think it was a 2. And they basically said that they didn't think the world building was there, which now I'm trying to debate on whether it is or isn't, because I did say earlier in this video, I don't know if I included it, but I did mention that I liked the world building, and to me I thought it was there. But now hearing that, I'm thinking, is it there? Because really, you've got the forest, she's in the forest, but you don't see any of the setting other than that, really. She visits a town once, but other than that, you don't really see much. And I don't know, you don't have a sense of like the placement of the manor, what's in the manor, like what's in the forest, really. But I think the world building is there for the monsters they encounter and the people they encounter in these different villages. So I'm trying to debate on whether or not I think that is there or not. But I think this is, I'm not entirely sure how to say her name, but I think this is this girl's debut novel, which makes me like excited because that's like a place I want to be in. So I'd say for a debut novel, this is really good. And I think it's great overall, even without being a debut novel. So I liked the writing. It took me a while to kind of get into the writing, but once I was into the writing, I liked it a lot. So I'm going to stick with a 3.5. I was leaning towards a 4, but now I think 3.5 is maybe where I'd go. So 3.5 is still good, and I would, you know, I don't regret reading it. I loved reading it, but just not up there at a 4. And I also just wanted to go into some detail about our stay as a whole. So both, specifically my dad, he was telling us that, you know, we should be going out, we've paid for this experience and you get the activities free, so he was like, you should be going out. But at the time in my head, you know, it was like, I'm just gonna write all the time. I'm gonna go on the forest walks, which again, there wasn't much forest to walk in. Like, you have your main area with all the paths and the log cabins and stuff. Then you have the village centre, I think it was called, and then there's a little trail off of that which is like the forest trail. But I think when me and my sister did it, it took us like maybe like 20-30 minutes to get through it, which is not like what I thought it was going to be. And then once you got to the end, there's a fence and you can't go any further into the forest. So basically you're fenced in, you're locked in to Center Parcs until you know, use the main entrance, main exit. So for the most part, we was kind of just doing our like nightly walks around the Center Parcs, which, not complaining, there was very, very, very bigger log cabins and houses than ours, so I was enjoying going to look at them and imagining what they'd look on the inside. But yeah, I like that part of it. But I think, yeah, it's easy to get bored when you go on a writing retreat and all you're giving yourself time to do is to read and write. Like, I fell into the trap of thinking I need to be doing one or the other and like nothing else. So I was, I don't know, getting a little bored easily, and I think that affected my writing. So now that I'm back, I think, you know, that's over. I'm writing fine again, but I went through a period where I wasn't writing the best, I think, because I just get so like ingrained in doing it, and I don't feel like, you know, say I'm like, oh, let me watch some YouTube videos, let me watch a movie, then I'm like sitting there feeling guilty because I'm not writing, which is not what I should be doing. So I'm trying to work my way out of that. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed the stay. Honestly though, I would not go again, just because it was very expensive for the food in the supermarket in both the restaurants. And honestly, we went to the Pancake House and it was not that good. So I kind of felt let down by that aspect of it a little bit. But the log cabin was great, and, you know, the time inside doing my writing was great. So I would recommend, but would not do again. But overall, I enjoyed the experience, and I liked, you know, just getting away to have another place to write and being in the forest, even if you could not really go in the forest. So yeah, that was just overall my week on the writing retreat. I guess that's it for this video. So thank you for watching. I'm hoping to film another one today, just a little one about just my day. So, but yeah, thank you for watching.